Hold on.
Look at this is 25.
Hello and welcome to another Woodshop podcast with
We
Mike
made it,
Coffey
guys.
of Coffee Custom Builds, Daniel Dunlap of Daniel Dunlap Woodworks, Peter Kapar of Petrie's Workshop. You can find us all as well as the podcast on Instagram and YouTube.
Welcome to another episode of Another Woodshop Podcast. Episode 25, guys.
Yeah, we did it. Wow, quarter century mark.
25. I can
25.
retire.
High quality content, even if our internet isn't so. Isn't that right, Dan?
Episode
My internet is
25.
fueled by the best corn
13
available.
good episodes.
Hey, that's not bad. If I did my math right, that's a little less than half. More than half? More than half.
A little
Yes.
less than half.
Math's is hard. Well, we have two that we don't count. You know?
I think there's like 9 we don't count, to be very honest, Pete. There's some pretty rough beginnings there. Whenever people are asking about the pod, I always tell them to skip the first 10 or so.
However, what you guys shouldn't skip this week is the pre-show. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a
We're-
long pre-show.
Let's just put it this way: we're an hour in, and we all cried because it was so funny.
Are we an hour into the recording of the pre-show?
We
We're
are.
Pete, we're an hour and 29 minutes into the recording of the pre. Oh, that's our phone call. I apologize.
Yeah.
You're recording on
Hour
your
into
end.
the yep. Now
I
let me
understand.
handle the numbers, Mike.
Well,
You're the pretty face. I'm the numbers, and then
the four
I
of us
thought I
are
was
brought
the
to you
right
by.
Dan's the one that welds the truck together so we can fight the bad guys.
Okay.
Is that Hannibal?
Yeah, I think
hey,
so. No, he's the one with the plan.
Stop interrupting me, Pete. First of all, second of all, this episode is brought to Dan's laughing. Stop laughing, Dan. Stop. Guess I'm looking at Dan. This episode is brought to us by Total Boat. Total Boat makes epoxies and finishes. I actually don't know their slogan. It's making solutions for craftsmen or something like that. It's something I should probably have readily
like
available in front of me.
Soft
But-
to hard. Because the
No. No, but seriously, humongous thank you to Total Boat. Like I've been saying, the best way to support us is to support our sponsors. We really do appreciate them. I don't want to say going out on a limb, but going out on a limb and giving us some support on this podcast. We really do appreciate it. They are great. They're great to the community. They have many great products that we all use and we all stand behind. So we really just wanted to say thank you to them and that we really appreciate them. Pete, there's some other people we need to thank too.
oh
Wow,
we
that
need
was
to
quite the
thank
transition. I'm
our
sorry.
patrons. Man, you can't interrupt every time you're wowed.
I meant to do 2 fingers.
This is how
I'm
we're
sorry.
officially passing along all of our questions. So
Yeah,
like,
finger
oh,
guns.
that's what I would say. What about you, Dan?
It's all smooth transitions from here on out.
Well, speaking of smooth transitions, I wanted to well no, there's no segue there. But, I wanted to shout out our sponsors on the Patreon, our patrons. So they help us out a lot. You guys are amazing. A lot of you have signed up this week, man. Mike, you got a list. You
There's
actually you
quite the
want
list.
to
Yeah, I'll mention the list.
Yeah.
I'll go through the list right now. This week we got 7 new patrons, which is insane.
What?
I know. First we got Graydon Bima. We got Josh Sylvester. He's with Making Joy. We have Thomas Holder with Foster Woodworks. We have Nick with Stated Woods Co. Nick's friend of ours. Andrew Lane with Lane Customs Creations. Donald Starnes. And Brian Thibodeau. I apologize if I'm not saying your name right, but I believe it's Brian Thibodeau. So 7 new patrons, blown away every time. We literally text each other and like, wow. So we just really appreciate it.
Yeah, we really appreciate you guys. For those of you that didn't hear last week, or maybe you just missed the podcast, we have 2 new exciting things. First is that we are putting up the video every Wednesday for everyone, not just the patrons.
Yep.
But the patrons get it Saturday night. So when the podcast drops for the patrons, you also got the video, and you got the super hilarious, I hope I can't speak to all the episodes, pre-show. The pre-show is fantastic. And of course, if you want what I finally got, I've been at the $20 tier now for months, and I finally got the Daniel Dunlap sticker. It finally came in. I opened up the envelope, and it was like the scene from what's that one movie where they
Raiders of
open
the
up
Lost Ark.
Yeah, it was just like it melted my face. It was amazing.
When the Nazi's skin gets burned off, that's what it was like. I don't know if we want to make that comparison.
No, I was the one. I was
Can I
clenching
take
my
that
eyes
back?
shut and looking
Oh,
away
okay.
because it was too bright, and I survived. I was
That's
worthy.
amazing.
I was
That's a beautiful
worthy
story.
of the Dunlap sticker.
Worthy of the Dunlap.
That deserves another sticker. I've been Dunlapped and I survived.
I've gotten the full Daniel Dunlap experience.
No, you haven't. Mike
Nope.
has.
I did.
Ooh.
That was amazing.
And the other really exciting thing is we are taking questions from the patrons for the pre-show. So if you're at the pre-show tier, you can ask
Real
any
quick,
question
I want
you
to
want.
read all the patron questions we got this week.
Yeah, let's read them.
That's them. Okay.
Thanks,
back to you,
Mike.
Pete.
Cool. So yeah, we got a whopping 0 questions this week. And guys, we're a resource. Use us. That's why we're here. Ask some serious question. Like, how come Dan can't grow a beard? Or how do you guys handle Instagram algorithms? Like, whatever it is, we will answer it as best as we can. Obviously, we're not going to bash anyone. But we're going to give you the honest opinion on whatever we talk about. We talked actually about some good stuff this week. You know,
And I'll have you know, I've been told by 2 different guys today on TikTok that I am nowhere near a pro and I shouldn't be giving advice. So bring your questions.
What?
Oh, I haven't told you guys
Flex.
about that.
Dan is
Yeah,
on TikTok.
It's
TikTok trolls. They're my fave.
oh man, TikTok trolls.
So thank you all for signing up. We hope to see more of you there. If not, that's fine. You know, we love all of you that are there. And we're going to continue providing awesome content for you guys.
Listen, the bottom line is, and we'll talk about it at the end, but like, we get it. If you can't do the patron thing, it's not even a big deal. If you like the show, just share the show. That's the biggest, like, that's really huge. Like, getting the word out there, it's like the biggest thing for the show. So, or it's a huge thing for the show. So we appreciate it. And also, you know, as we're getting more patrons, we're able to offer more things. Like in terms of merch, we're able to be more flexible. So we really do appreciate the support so much. It blows our mind, legitimately blows our mind. So we just really love it. So
Yeah. And there's a lot of really cool stuff coming down the line in the future. You know, we're throwing some ideas around. There was maybe, I don't know, the words like live and stream and movie
You're so
are being
dumb.
tossed around, but only 2 of those are actually true. So pick the ones you like and we'll see where that goes.
That's stupid. Should we
I take no part in that.
we have
No, I got one more thing before you guys
Oh
speak.
my
Yeah. One more thing
go to
about
the
Patreon.
bathroom?
And that is, no, I already did that twice. Speaking of stickers, I want to give a shout out to Sticker Beat for hooking us up with the stickers for the show.
Yes.
thanks to them.
Yes.
You guys are great. Thank you. So, hey, Mike, what's on your bench?
I get to
If
go
you
put
say
stuff
coffee
crazy.
table, I'm going to lose it.
Yo, it's coffee.
You're not gonna like
Oh.
my answer.
You're not gonna like my answer at all. Yeah. So I've actually finished the coffee table last night. Well, no, that's not true. I ordered some. They have hardwood floor, so I'm gonna do some like recessed, like foot leveling feet on the bottom of it. So because I doubt their floor is gonna be flat, so I'm gonna do some recessed leveling feet. I'm adding that in just because I want it. I've got to wait for the finish to cure anyway, so it takes. I've got 2 more days for the Odie's wood butter to dry. So I'm gonna recess some feet in there with the little lock nuts, or not lock nuts, but the T nuts that go into there. And anyway, they'll just be hidden so they can if they ever need to adjust anything, they can. But it's done basically, which feels really great. And he's like, hey, I'll come pick it up. I want to come see your shop. So, and he's a friend of mine. So, that's gonna be good. But big, huge news is I signed all the paperwork for the CNC today, which is super exciting. I'm really pumped on that. I'm actually going to run to Home Depot in the morning because we don't have a Menards. So I'm going to go to Home Depot and I got to get.
Blessing
It's
in
really
disguise.
sad. It's number one reason to get out of California. I need to start getting all the foundation stuff, and I'm going to start building the actual deck for the flooring tomorrow. I should be able to knock that out pretty quick. So I'm going to knock that out, and that'll help me kind of get the design, because I know where I want it, but I'm basically going to build as big of a thing as big as a deck as I can in that spot, and then start framing the walls around it, because I have to have 5 feet away from my fence, and then there's all these other things. So I got to kind of make it just work and then figure it out from there. So I'm going to start on that tomorrow, and I'm really hoping to knock this shed out quick. I really don't think it'll go quick, but next weekend I know I've got what's up, Dan?
Can I ask a question real fast? Do you have to like get any permits?
No, because you only have to. I don't know about any other place, but here anything under 10 by 12, 120 square feet, you don't have to get a permit for.
Okay.
So I don't know how that is anywhere else, but I imagine if I'm in California, it's probably much looser anywhere else. So for my count,
For me, it's 100. Anything
Oh,
over
really?
100. And it has to be 3 feet away from neighbors on all sides.
Mine has to be 5 feet away from my fence line.
Ooh, damn.
So, which isn't a big deal. The spot is, I have a pretty good sized yard, so that it's not a huge deal. More of where it's at is constrained by the fact that if I make it too big, it's gonna encroach on my sidewalk on my side yard.
Oh,
So,
got you.
but 8 by 10 is plenty big for what I need. It's a lot of space. I'll be able to fit all the stuff from the. So basically, what's happening is I have two 2-car garages. The 2-car garage I'm in now with my shop, I moved into from my other 2-car garage back in January, February, and you guys know this, but maybe people listening don't. So I don't want to
please share.
So I have this other 2-car garage, and it's where we store all of our seasonal goods, like all of our holiday stuff, all of our stuff that Jackson, my son, grows out of, any of that stuff. We kind of save stuff to give to family, friends, or whatever. So we have those, those big like metal husky racks from Home Depot. Yeah, I have 3 of those in there, and then I have a couple smaller plastic racks, and then a rack I made. Basically, an 8 by 10 will allow me to take all that stuff out of my other shop. And what's going to happen is I've got the insulation lined up and the plywood figured out. I'm going to be insulating everything in there. I'm putting up nice birch plywood around the entire thing and the lid. I'm running new electrical with my uncle because I got to get 60 more amps of service in there, which he's coming over tomorrow so we can figure it out. Yeah, the CNC needs 30 and the dust collector needs 30. I was going to pull off my existing line and add a 30 amp line in there because I have 20 amp service. I was going to add 30 amp service to that, but I think it's just going to be easier to add another sub panel and have 60 amps in there to get service for both.
A random question. Are you going to be using your DC for that shop as well, or are you going to be running something else to that CNC? Because the CNC doesn't really make a whole ton of chips.
Well, that's the kind of thing that's up in the air right now. So I really don't want to use, for those who don't know, I got a P-Flux 3. It's sitting at Macbeth right now, and I haven't brought it to my house yet because I'm trying to wait till I get farther in the remodel. I don't want to run that thing at all times when I'm running the CNC because it's huge and it's a 30 amp draw. It's going to be like a crazy power bill. Talking with Laguna, where I'm getting my CNC, they said I need 1250 CFM to run this thing. So it runs a 4-inch dust collection hose.
I guess,
but I don't even know. I have to look into it, but I'm almost certain you can't even pull 1250 CFM through a 4-inch hose. So I need to look into that. I'm pretty sure the max on a 4-inch hose is like 900. So I'm trying to do some research right now. I might buy a B-Flux, which is Laguna's small dust collector, which I think will get 750 or something like that. I need to ask some people who are familiar with a larger machine, if it'll be able to pull everything out of there. So that's what I'm looking at now, is trying to figure out that. So if I can get away with the B-Flux, which looks like one of those standard, it's like a canister top with a bag on the bottom kind of thing, which would be fine for the CNC.
That's all you would really need.
Well, is it? Do you know that for sure?
I think so, because think of it this way. Well, here's the other thing. You're running a spindle in there. You're not running a router. For those of you that don't know, so like the spindle would be what's usually commonly found on like nice CNCs. It doesn't have that blower at the bottom. Where you're using a router and just throws the chips everywhere. This doesn't have that. They just sit. So that's why you really need good dust collection on there. That's the whole reason behind it.
Yeah. So it's a 3 horsepower spindle.
I think it should be fine with even a 700 CFM. I feel like that would be pretty good.
Yeah, I'm gonna do some research on it because I really need to figure it out. Like I really need to get that. I want it to be primo. I want to be able to basically shut the door to the CNC side of the shop, because my dust collector is gonna live out there. My main dust collector, I'm gonna pipe it through the wall so I can fire that thing up and not hear it. It'll keep my shop quieter. I basically want to be able to run the CNC and any dust collection for it independent and not have it affect me shooting content.
Are you insulating the wall?
Yeah, I'm insulating all the walls.
Love it.
I'm insulating all the walls. I'm putting up plywood, and I'm insulating the ceiling, and then the loft above it I'm insulating. I'm pulling out all the carpet. I'm putting up sheetrock up there.
You're getting rid of the shag?
It's so gross, Dan. So there is carpet up there. So before we got here, they had some mouse or rat infestation up there, and it's disgusting. Like, I'm gonna open up the window. There's a window in that loft. I'm gonna actually open that window up. I'm gonna park the dump trailer on the side there and just empty everything out of there, and then I'm gonna spray everything with bleach and water, air it out,
burn it down.
Yeah, just air it out, and then I'm gonna put in carpet again because it'll help with. I'm basically trying to make a spot where I can record the show and do my voiceovers if I need to. So I'm gonna have sound baffles in there and stuff and make it look pretty nice. So I'm gonna go drywall, carpeting, a little spot where I can actually conduct Coffee Custom Builds business. So cool. It'll be nice. And I want to have like a couch with a fold out bed. For like
a black leather couch. Just
no.
Like for which
Just
you need to
random
get
questions?
any like extras on your show, you would cast them there.
Nope.
I don't know
Just
what
checking.
any of this is about.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to the so my uncle's coming over tomorrow. We're gonna figure out the electrical issue. We're gonna get the plan going for that. Once the electrical's in, I'm gonna be running more. I'm gonna getting lighting in there again because there's no light. It's like super dark in there. The CNC, I have 3 windows in that garage, and I have no windows in the shop I work in. So I'm gonna be able to put the CNC like right in between 2 of the windows. I'll be able to put a nice window AC unit in there, and I have my other AC unit, so I'll be able to like really climate control everything. It's gonna be nice. I'm really looking forward to all that. It's gonna be like a huge improvement. And then you guys are coming out.
Yeah. It's a solid maybe.
Yeah, they're not coming out. That means
No, the
so it's
plan
gonna,
is for us to join you at some point in the next couple
big.
months.
That seems like a big no, based on the maybes and
Hey,
the
it is a firm maybe.
It's a solid maybe.
It's a definite maybe.
It's a soft no. Solid maybe.
Yeah, so sounds like they're not coming out. This is really a bummer to hear this on the show right now. I'm gonna try to keep it together. No,
You don't have a what is it, Rumza?
Runza. Yeah, we don't have runs out.
Or Menards. Where are we supposed to go do all the shopping? I need mayo and 2x4s. Don't ask me why.
55 gallons of mayo. And some bent 2x4s. Yeah, so that's kind of my week. Just kind of putting a plan together. I actually did a material takeoff for the shed already based on an 8x10. I'm just doing a lean-to roof. So I'm going to build one wall at 9 foot and one wall at 8 foot. And then I'll just do the roofing joists across that and sheathe it up and stuff. So
What about like when you guys get heavy snowfall? Oh, wait.
Yeah, we only get like snow 3 times a year. It's not even a big deal here. So, but yeah, that's kind of.
I'm in the northeast where it's like you got to build a house if you want a shed because you're gonna get a foot of snow.
I'm gonna be doing. Like the most we get, like at the very most, like a half an inch. But I think I'm gonna frame the whole thing out of 2x3s, other than the joists for the bottom and the top. I think I'm gonna do 2x3s though, just because the whole thing's.
Mike can make a shed out of construction paper and be fine, probably.
Why don't you just make the whole thing out of walnut? Don't be a punk.
That'd be dope. That'd be such a flex.
Don't be a punk.
It's a bougie move.
Just such a hard flex for no reason.
Well, actually, wait. Don't you have like a whole ton of slabs and wood that's from the tree that came down a couple years ago?
Yeah, the cedar. I have all that cedar, but it's all small slabs.
No,
I'm not
okay.
gonna make a shed out of slabs, Pete.
That's what they used to do, Mike. Before Laguna was a thing.
What?
Back when Grandpa had to make a shed, he cut down a tree.
No,
Pete's thinking of his Lincoln logs. Just ignore him.
In
longest
no,
one I have.
they were called Putin logs back in my country.
Oh my god.
The longest slab I have on those is 5 feet. I think it would be it'd be rough. I'd be having butt-in joints and stuff. But yeah, I don't know why I didn't think to do walnut for the whole thing. Here's my
butcher block slab shed.
Here's my 80 square foot, $45,000 shed. So anyway, that's kind of what I got going on. I'm just the CNC, the coffee table's wrapped. I got strep throat. I've been pretty sick all week. I'm actually feeling good right now. Before the show started, I was kind of worried I wasn't gonna make it through the show, but I actually feel a lot better now. So I actually think it's just my antibiotics I'm taking. It just makes me feel like crud. So should I talk about Dan's house, or should we wait until Dan talks for me to talk about Dan's house?
You can pop in on me.
Yeah, I'll pop.
I'm not a good talker, so I need all the help I can get.
I don't talk good.
Yeah, let the guy with strep throat talk over you. That's fine. Mike,
pop
can you
in on
please pass it along to him the right way?
Kissing?
No,
Oh,
Oh yeah. Dan, what's on your bench?
I hate this new thing. Oh.
I need to brush my beard. Sorry.
What's on my bench? You guys. So many things on my bench. It's ridiculous. I can't even keep track of all the things on my bench.
All the
is it
things.
desk shaped?
All the one thing. I'm still working on the walnut desk. Okay. It's a big desk. Come on, Mike has seen it in
You're
person.
not working on the desk. The desk
really
is
good.
done. You're
The
working
desk
on
itself.
these
Well,
side
it's the
missions.
desk is like an all-encompassing. I can't say that word.
It's a metaphor.
It's a very large thing, and I actually have to make one more thing to get it all wrapped up before I can start sanding everything and finishing everything and getting it all done. And I'm doing that now, and I'm making the drawer boxes. These drawer boxes are enormous.
They're looking at 30s, right?
Yeah, they are. I'm doing 3 drawer boxes in this carcass, and they are 8 inches deep. They are 34 by 38.
Ooh.
They're massive. And I had to like special order some 34-inch drawer slides, and they're still not. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So yeah, I'm working on the drawers right now, and aside from that, so like we talked about it last week, but Mike and Rusty came out here. We hooked up the dust collection. We piped the whole garage for dust collection. We got, I want to say like 95% done. I'm waiting some accessories, some blast gates, some flex PVC, some hose clamps and stuff. And that stuff's all been slowly arriving. I think I got my second box today of blast gates and fittings, and I got one more box I think is showing up tomorrow. And then once all that's here, I can start finishing up that. I feel pretty confident if I don't finish the dust collection, Rusty and Mike might come back to Nebraska and murder me. So I have to do that.
I told Dan I will legit be pissed if you don't have this figured out quickly. I did not fly out to Nebraska for you to not get your DC done.
But you had a nice time in Nebraska, right?
We did. It was really fun, dude. It was a really good time. Dan took us to some great places to eat. Got some good food.
McDonald's, Burger King. It was great.
We don't have those out here. It was so nice. It was exotic. No, went to some good places. It was nice. We got good coffee every day. It was just a really good time. It was nice to just get away, I guess. And I don't mind, like, it was like working in the shop, helping Dan. That's like a vacation for me. It was a good time. So I know Rusty's the same. He's kind of a workaholic like I am.
Yeah,
so
that's what he said.
Yeah, I was talking to him too, and he was like, "I don't have to answer emails. It's nice."
Yeah, it was nice. I only got yelled at like 4 times on Friday from work, so it was really nice.
Less than usual.
Yeah, it's running about 14% normal, but yeah, it was a great time.
And then on the last day they were here, they talked me into putting the AC in my shop.
Peer pressure works.
It does work. That is such a wonderful addition. Oh my gosh. I went out there this morning because I accidentally left it on overnight, and it was cold out there. Like, I legitimately had to put on a sweater because I was like, oh, it's nipply. But oh my gosh, that's going to be a clip that haunts me probably.
It's going to be recorded for sure.
And so yeah, the AC has been a wonderful addition. And then just before we started recording the show, my brother was over here. We had to add some 220 outlets because I got some more big additions coming to the shop. First of all, on Tuesday, we're recording on, what is it today? Friday? On Tuesday, I have an 8-inch helical head Laguna jointer showing up, and that takes 220. It's this. I think it's the same one Pete has.
It is.
Yeah, don't you mean it's an 8.1? You got an 8.1, right?
Yeah, 8.1. I got an 8.1 inch. My bad.
Always one upping.
And then
you are
later,
going to
later in the year
lose it when you're going to lose it when you get it. Like, you don't use your joiner right now because it's not a good joiner.
I think I'll probably take my loaves of bread out there and flatten them just to use the jointer.
Yeah, sure. Just how quiet it is and how it just spins up. Oh.
And then I think in mid-October, I'm getting a Laguna 1412 BX bandsaw. So, you know, I gotta get prepared for all that. And I'm gonna convert my Laguna. I got Laguna all the things. So my dust collector now is a Laguna P-Flux 1, and it comes default as a 110. I think I'm gonna convert that to 220. So
yeah, you are.
My brother and I, like I said, we wired up my shop for 220, and then my saw stop is also a 110. It's the PCS 175. Excuse me. I heard, because Rusty told me, that you could convert the 175 to the 3 horsepower motor for fairly reasonable price. So
so you're actually swapping a motor. You're not actually getting a new one.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna upgrade it to the 3 horsepower motor. Dude, so I've got an email out to SawStop, and we'll see if they respond. So that's gonna happen one way or another. So I'm preparing for the future. What about you, Pete?
There it is. Like I'm waiting. Dude, it's been just wedding mode in this house because it's 3 weeks away. And
hold on, time out. This is another woodshop podcast, not another wedding podcast.
Let's talk weddings, guys. The fall theme is teal and barnwood and Pinterest. But we have just
right now.
We have heavily leaned into.
I'm gonna go get a beer while Pete's talking.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. Don't listen to me. That's cool. That's fine. All right. Bye, Dan. All right. Welcome to the Mike and Pete show. Thank you for subscribing. So we're going full Pinterest mode for I just made a bunch of barnwood signs, and this is actually really cool. So we got a whole bunch of barnwood floorboards. They're tongue and groove, old growth pine floorboards from 50, 60 years ago.
That stuff you didn't want to joint?
No, that's the beams.
That's the beams. Yeah.
Yeah, this is actual floorboards. For anyone that's actually see, I'm recording my shop, so I can do this. Welcome to another woodshop podcast.
This is so good on a podcast.
It looks great. Some people watch this. If you guys want to see what I was holding in my hand, you should definitely check out the video on YouTube. But yeah, so we actually got to use the wood from the barn for the wedding itself, for all the signs and invitations, and we made this super fancy sign. I've been using this stuff called Aura Mask. It's like this blue vinyl you apply to a piece of wood, and then you CNC it, and you can spray paint it or whatever. And not only does it prevent tear out, it makes a really clean finish, but you can also spray paint it and then peel it up.
Talk about that a little bit.
Can we talk about it?
Yeah, Aura Mask. I'm really interested in that product.
Does it bleed over at all? Is there any bleed?
So very little, and also depends on the wood. When I use paint on these, and you know what? Screw it. For whoever's watching video, I'll show them. So on the letters on this, it's very minimal, almost no bleed. And basically wherever there was bleed, there was wherever we didn't apply the, we didn't apply, a little bit there. We just didn't apply the Aura Mask tight enough. So I used one of those it's kind of like a flexible little spatula spreader thing. That Total Boat sent me. That's really good for that. Because you want to get into every crevice. If you're carving flat wood, it's actually really good. But because this is barnwood, it's really rough, so you get a little more bleed on there. Where it really bleeds is.
Can you run it through your drum sander?
We're trying to
lose the character of the barn.
Oh, right. I forget people like crappy looking wood. I forgot, my bad.
Hey! Funny. Someone was like, I really like the stain you used. And I'm like, that's not stain. That's 50 years of patina.
I forgot that's a desired trait.
So Go on. Other thing we're making, and I'm also going to do this for. So this I've been keeping. I really hate keeping secrets on my Instagram. If I'm working on a project, I want to show people.
Really good about secrets.
Yeah, I just complain about it all the time. So the other thing was we CNC'd and I don't care because none of the people that are in the wedding party listen to my podcast. Thanks, friends. We CNC'd these hangers, these wooden hangers.
Mike's in your wedding party?
Yeah, he's.
I didn't even get a freaking invite.
Ooh, you'll get the live stream. Different Mike. So I have way too many Mike friends. But we CNC'd with the Aura Mask, and it came out really clean. But the issue is when we spray painted it black, it actually bled a little bit. So we've been dealing with that. But we found that spraying
Have you used anything else that works better?
The Aura
I
mask?
need to know. No, yeah, that you can actually mask over the top, carve. I mean, have you tried other items? Have you tried things?
I've tried blue tape, and just like I've seen people use blue tape, clear tape. This is hands down one of the best things I used.
I feel like blue tape would tear real easy with a spinning bit like that.
It actually does.
That's where you're wrong, idiot. No, I'm joking.
It does a pretty good
I don't
job.
know.
Aura mask,
I don't either.
Vinyl, it really stretches into a lot. Like if you have grooves and stuff,
I'm
really
legitimately interested in this because it's something I got.
Mike, when you get your CNC, you're getting a roll of this stuff. It's really good, and it's not expensive.
I'm definitely gonna try it. Yeah, I can't imagine it's a consumable. They're not gonna make it overly priced.
And at the very least, even if I wasn't spraying any color inside it or whatever, I just needed a clean carving, I would use Aura mask. Because you're not getting any. Sometimes when you carve a certain bit, especially as they get duller, or if you're using cheaper bits, you're getting a lot of fraying around the edges. When you use the Aura mask, you don't, because what's fraying is the blue tape, and everything's getting cut clean. So
it's your sacrificial piece.
Basically, yeah, that's what it is, and it's very thin, but it works really well.
Yeah.
So it's been that. We've been making a ton of different signs. We got to make like wedding topper or the cake toppers. We got to make wedding favors, which I'm thinking maybe like some fun coasters or something with our like the date and a name carved into it. We're basically going all out and customizing everything because I'm like, I have a CNC. Why not?
Yeah, you have the stuff.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's make the most obnoxious signs. We got a wedding planner.
Are you printing anything?
We're actually the cake topper is gonna be 3D printed.
There it is.
I got you, buddy. We're also gonna do this really cool thing called
a girl robot. A what?
A little thing, which is you can take a photo and you can run it through a program, and it tells the 3D printer how thick to print certain sections. So when you put a light behind it, you get a.
Oh, that's sick! I've seen that. Yeah.
So we're gonna be probably doing that for some photos of our parents in their wedding.
Is that free software?
It's free online. Yeah.
That's dope.
So we're gonna get real fancy with that. Aside from that, I'm getting a new tool in a shop, and that's Dan's lathe.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Certified pre-owned lathe. Great.
Certified
pre-owned. So since Dan got a pallet delivery with the P-Flux, he had a pallet laying around. So I was like, "You'll send me that lathe because you need more space." And he packed it up last minute, right before it was being picked up. Gave me a scare there. But that got picked up on what, Thursday?
Yeah, no, it should be there on Monday, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be there Monday. So I learned a lot about freight shipping and picking up large tools.
You should talk about that because I think actually 2 people asked me about talking about that, and I'm not joking.
Let's talk about that because 2 people wanted to know.
No, and this is something. I mean, let's be. We have all looked at a tool on Marketplace or somewhere else, maybe, or not all of us, but a lot of us, where it's
basically just
kind of far, and you're like, well, how am I going to ship that to 30%. My house? I got some ridiculous quotes. One of the most like reputable company was like Old Dominion, which does a lot of freight shipping in the U.S. Mm-hmm. They wanted almost $1,200. It was like $1,158 for shipping.
The biggest for a reason.
Yeah,
take advantage of dum-dums.
Where it shines. So this is a recommendation to everyone. If you're ever looking for large freight shipping something on a pallet or just moving across country, whatever, look up basically they're freight shipping brokers. The site that I went was Freight Pros. I think that's what it was called. And basically I requested a quote, and it was one of the sites that didn't give me a quote initially, like right on their site. But when I talked to the guy, I told him what prices I got somewhere else. Actually, I'll share. I really don't care. So it was $400. I got a deal of $400 for shipping. Now it may seem kind of pricey for shipping something, but it's a 250-pound tool. The pallet was like 35 by like 28 and about
45 by 28.
45 by 28, yeah, and like 35 inches tall. That's what it was, exactly. Thank you, Dan.
You're welcome.
And it's big. They can't stack it. It takes up a whole section of their truck, and it gets here in 3 days. So basically, he asked me what the price was, and I was like, the best price I got was like $450. He's like, well, what can we do to win your business? I'm like, I don't know. Like, the lower you can go, the better. He's like, how about 400? I'm like, that's the third of what I got from someone else. So yes.
That's great.
Basically, yeah. So they shop around for you, which is really nice. So if you ever need to ship large tools, I reached out to the community. Guys, I love you all, but you were useless. None of you gave me advice. No one gave me tips.
Unsubscribe.
Some people would recommend some larger brands, but if you go directly through the brands, you're gonna get boned. Go through a broker. They're gonna help you out. They shop around the best deals. So that was actually a really nice experience. It really made it easy. And I ordered it at like
on my end
5:30 p.m. on Wednesday, and it was finalized before 6. And Dan got like a confirmation call like 10 a.m. next morning.
Yep.
For freight pickup. That's pretty.
He was there like at I want to say 11:30 a.m.
Yeah.
Just before noon.
Liftgate service, all that door to door.
Liftgate service. He was an interesting guy, but he did his job.
Nope.
I'm glad
I have a Class A license. Truck drivers are.
I also have a teardrop tattoo on my face.
He was an interesting fellow. The lathe is on its way, and I'm happy that it's going to go to somebody who's going to use it. I got that lathe from somebody here in the Omaha area who just gave it to me, and it was one of those situations where I couldn't say no. I mean, it's a very nice lathe with the base and the lathe itself. It's like a $1,200 lathe. So I was like, yeah, I'll take it. And then I never got to use it, and it's just taking up space. So, and it's beat.
And I finally have the space for it. That's another thing I want to talk about. I know we're kind of running long on this.
It's fine.
Shop, but
it's fine.
My shop layout is finally what I imagined it to be years ago, what I wanted it to be. This joiner has been such a blessing because it forced me to redo half of my shop. And actually, I've been just knocking out projects almost every single night because I have a flow in here. I have room. I can set stuff down. I can set up a cart we've been spray painting while I'm applying finish, which I'm going to get to. I'm going to get to finish in a second. But it's just really nice to, and Dan, I feel like you probably have the same feeling of like having a new shop layout. You have a completely different flow. You're able to get certain things done a little better because you have certain things laid out. And when you get the better tools, that's going to be a whole different thing. So I actually have room for this lathe, even with all the tools that I have in the shop. And the last thing is, as far as finishing goes, I, for the first time ever on a large piece, not just a sample, have tried Odie's oil. Holy poop. Like, it is I had to censor myself. It is so incredible. I finally get what Mike was talking about, and I hate to admit this. He was right. I know. But, like, it's so good. I applied it. I applied it pretty finely. A little bit goes a long way. And within 2 hours, it felt like it's been sitting for like a day. And I had to do no sanding, or after the coats. Like with wipe on poly, you usually got to do a little buffing. This, I just cleaned it off with a cloth, just kind of did a quick buffing, did the other side. Next day, it was done.
Yeah, it's not a top coat. It's a penetrating oil.
Is it a durable finish?
So
you can go multiple coats. And I did have a wax, which I didn't apply.
It's a floor finish primarily. This is the answer. I'm going to give you their answer, and I'll give you the anecdotal answers I've heard over the 6 months I've been using it. So their answer is it's primarily for finishing floors. So that their claim to fame on that is, hey, if it's for floors, it's going to be durable, right? In theory. But I think the problem people have with it is that they don't properly let it cure, because it is a 2 to 3 day cure time. And then you can use it for cutting boards because it is food safe, and it's a penetrating oil, so the water will bead and fall off of it. But you have to wait like 2 to 3 weeks for it to be safe for water to go on it. So with that being said, I have heard stories of people saying that they've used that product for a long time and they've sold stuff to a customer, and then like a year and a half later, it's not doing its job. Now, I don't know what that means. I've just heard those kind of anecdotal stories, so I don't know. I haven't experienced it myself, but here's my thing about negative reviews.
Like food safe things, or
no, with they
table?
built like a piece, like a chair, I think was the real problem.
I got you.
Like a high traffic item. But here's my problem with negative reviews. And people ask me, what do you think about this tool? What do you think about that tool? For me, with anything, you need to kind of find the thing that you like to work with the most. Because if I get I love Laguna tools, right? if I get that tool, I'm not going to go leave a positive review on it realistically. If I get my tool and it's busted, I'm for sure going to leave a bad review and scream from every platform that I have available to me that something's gone wrong with it. That's just kind of human nature. So, especially in woodworking, because things are so expensive, I find that people really voice their anger when something goes wrong. So I feel like for every one bad review on something, there's tons of success stories and positive reviews, in my opinion, that just don't get mentioned. So, you hear different things about different products and different brands and different things, and I think you really have to take everything with a grain of salt. With that being said, I used a different product that I would say is in good competition with Odie's a while back on a piece I made. And it's not holding up. I'm going to have to sand the thing down, and I'm going to go with Odie's on it because I know it's going to be more durable. I've used it now so I've only used Odie's for a few months, so I can't really be like, yeah, this stuff's great for a lifetime, because I just don't know. So that's kind of the stuff I've heard. But you can, like Pete said, after you buff it off and then a few days later, it feels like, you can hit it with your nails and you can hear that that tink, tink you get with like a poly. It does harden. You can feel that it's got a good durable finish to it. It feels strong.
The other thing was I had it because I did one side of that countertop that I was making. I made this 24 by 35 inch countertop. And the next day I flipped it over and it was sitting on, I have this butcher block paper because I don't want to get, schmutz or whatever. And I picked it up a couple hours later after I did the other side. Schmutz is a word. And there was no residue. There was no stickiness, which if you put a poly upside down on paper or some kind of top, it would pick up every piece of dust because it would just kind of it's still soft, the next day. So you need a week to cure poly. Let's be real. So
poly's plastic. Polyurethane is plastic. You're putting plastic.
I'm very impressed with this finish.
So for me, it's just I'm kind of tired of dealing with caustic or high VOC items. Yes. Odie's is not that. There's other items as well that are out there I really like. I won't go into anything, but I use Rubio Monocoat. I see why people love that product. It goes on super fast. I don't know that it's easier. I think Odie's is about as easy as it gets, to be honest. Then there's Simple Finish, which I've used in the past and really do like. That's by the Maker brand, the modern Maker guys. That stuff, I have a thing of that stuff. I really like that stuff. That stuff goes on easy, and that's all these natural items, all these natural products. They'll feel very similar, and they're definitely a wax and boiled linseed oil blend that's proprietary. All of them are the same thing, I think. So I think if you're going with any of those natural brands, obviously if they were here and I said that, they'd probably punch me in the mouth. But I think you can use the products and you can tell that they're all very similar or based on very similar plants and extruded from those natural items. So you can smell citrus in Odie's. You can smell there's definitely a ton of wax in it. And it's like if you put a what's the wax you use in the shop? My brain is wiping.
Paste wax?
Paste wax. Yeah, if you put a paste wax on something, that hardens. That'll harden if you do it properly. I think it's similar to that. So, but it's more durable.
I have the Howard's wax and all paste wax, and it's basically it's all natural wax, and it's we're basically another woodshop podcast is going all vegan. That's it.
Right.
We're going vegan, guys.
Yeah. So I haven't used it long.
One of the ththings we're giving away this past week, we already picked the winner. They're getting a nice wax from Liberon, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think that's where it's kind of headed. You want to be using low VHC stuff that isn't caustic, isn't poisonous. You can wipe on in a shop and not have to wear a respirator while you're doing it. Because let's be real, we want to keep the shop closed and keep the AC in.
There's only one poly product that I even enjoy using now. That's not true. But Armor Seal is it really for me. I just really like using Armor Seal, and then water-based polys, but those aren't really VOCs or. Yeah. But anyway, man, this really went into a tangent from Dan asking durable. Sorry, but yeah, I think
that's a big.
To answer your question, Dan, yes, it does feel durable.
It does feel durable.
We don't know the longevity of it, and
I've never used it, and I've always so whenever I think about waxes, I think about candles, right? And I'm like, oh, how hard could that get though? How durable could that be?
I get it.
Yeah.
Yes, but it is. I mean, it's the actual carcass of it is the wood. It's just sitting as like a thin film in there, you know. So it should be pretty durable.
The other thing is my mind just wiped. I don't know what the other thing was. Next, no,
Tell you what, I'll tell you what the update is, because this is for a countertop in a kitchen. There's gonna have pots on it, other cutting boards, other stuff. Hey Siri, set a 6-month reminder to update the guys on the finish in the kitchen.
Here's the other thing though, Dan, with the to go back and to like I guess not apply the reapplication. If you had to go back and reapply or restore the piece, it's so easy with that product.
Minimal.
I mean, it would be like minutes of work you'd have to do. So, I mean, you don't want that situation to come up ever. You don't ever want a customer to call you and be like, hey, it's been a year and this thing looks like garbage. So,
yeah.
I mean, that's
pretty. It's like, you know, people that actually care about their furniture when they get the furniture polish sprays. Those aren't great, but they actually are trying to care for it. Yeah. Also, I apologize to anyone whose Siri I set off.
Yeah, it's too late now. Should we jump into questions? It's 50 minutes in.
Let's do that.
This first one is from Josh the Dad, J the D of the Big IG.
Hey guys, it's Josh the Dad. Yes, Josh the Dad, one of the Big IG, coming at you with this week's succulent sounds of words and questions out of this mouth. Oh, kind of like melted butter on hot toasted bread. Good. Now, I posed this question to another woodworking professional a while ago, and I'm curious what your professional opinion is on chisels. Now, I have a set of chisels, probably from the Freight of Harbor or something, and I don't have good sharpening stones, so they're not really great. But can I get a cheap set of chisels and with some really good sharpening stones and honing my skills? Did you like that? Honing my skills? Anyways, make those chisels a great set of chisels? Or do I have to break the bank and buy the expensive chisels? I'm just kind of curious. Hope you enjoy it. Can't wait to hear your answers, and have a great weekend.
Dan?
First of all, you can get any set of chisels sharp, like with the proper like sharpening techniques. You can get them sharp and they will be sharp enough to cut your hair off your arm or whatever. What the difference between a cheap set of chisels and a high-end set of chisels is how long they keep that edge. If you get a cheap set of Harbor Freight chisels, they'll be sharp, but they may not be as sharp as the ones you get from Lee Nielsen or Wood River or whatever. So, you know, you're just going to be sharpening more. I bought a set of chisels. I believe they're Narex. I think they're from the Czech Republic, and they're Narex.
Yeah, whatever.
And they're a great like middle of the line chisel. They weren't too expensive. They weren't cheap. They hold a great edge, and they're easy to sharpen. And I got a fairly reasonable price diamond stone off Amazon. I think I got a 600 grit, 1200 grit if you flip it over, and it works great. It worked great for me. And Pete looks like he has something he wants to say. Hold on, let me do the finger guns. Pete.
Thanks, bud. So I actually have, for those of you that don't have Menards in your area, there's another store that is very similar, just much smaller. It's called Aldi. You guys ever hear of it? No?
I heard of it when I was in Nebraska. Yeah. It's like dented cans and like old
I didn't realize they had chisels.
Yes. But so someone
this is news to me.
One time was like, hey, I found these chisels at at Aldi. They were great. I'm using them. I'm doing a giveaway. I entered and like I won. I just got lucky and I got them and they're pretty dang good. Apparently they cost like $9 for the set. They're like work something or pro something. The combination of the words, you know, whatever. Just the buzzwords in woodworking. So they're fine. And we talk about pine is fine. Well, those are fine. They're gonna do the job, but they're not going to last as long. Like Dan said, you're going to have to sharpen them a lot more. Then I have 3 chisels that are probably older than I am that keep an edge like nobody's business because it's different steel. Not only cheaper steel, but just older stuff. They just made this stuff from pure steel, and it handled better or held an edge better. Some of this cheaper new stuff does not. It's a whole like composite mix of metals that they do to cut corners, and unfortunately, it needs to be sharpened more often. As far as sharpening goes, I'm a big proponent of sandpaper, although I do have this sharpener now. It's like a slow speed water sharpener that I'm very excited to try out. I'll be doing that this week when I'm restoring my hand plane. What about you, Mike?
I can't really clarify it much more about the steel and I mean, if you're someone who is using chisels all the time, you want good chisels, and you don't want cheap chisels because you're going to be sharpening them all the time, and you're going to be spending your time sharpening more than you are using your chisels.
Exactly.
You know, there's companies like Veritas that has like the PMV11 steel that lasts forever. I just got a little apron plane from them, and it's amazing. Yeah. I have a DMT diamond stone set for sharpening, and I'm finding it to be limiting now. I'm having issues at higher grits with it. It's really hard to hone, and especially put a micro bevel on things. I'm having a harder time with it. So I'm probably going to switch over to wet stones, but I don't like sharpening. I don't like the sharpening process. It's not enjoyable to me.
Love sharpening.
I just want sharpening. I just want my edges to be sharp. That's all I want. I don't really. There's people that like love it, and it's like their whole like an art for them, and it's like this whole weekend retreat. They fly out to the Bahamas and sharpen stuff. But but for me, what I want to get like a Tormek, and I want to get some good wet stones, and I really want a Tormek to reform and reshape my edges, and then a wet stone I want to get over to wet stone because I am starting to have limitations with the diamond stones. They're just not getting polished like I want them to. So I'm not like an expert on it at all. That's kind of all I have about it. So get good steel if you're going to be using chisels a lot. If you're going to be using chisels twice a year,
go to Aldi.
And as far as, I mean, I know he asked about chisels, but if you're doing planes, you can get new blades. You can actually buy blades. You can have a mediocre plane, get a better blade.
Yes, you can do that.
Yeah.
All right.
Next one.
This next one's from Adrianne. Thank you, Adrianne.
Hey guys, it's Adrianne here from Hickory Homestead Creations, and I just wanted to ask another question this week. I have recently ran across some old chestnut in my barn, and so I was wondering, what would you guys do with 100-year-old chestnut? All right, thanks guys, and keep up the great work.
Pete, Mike? I'm sorry.
I'll speak louder. Well, I just learned in a pre-show that apparently it is very hard to get and illegal to cut down now. So knowing that, I would probably build something. Well, even if it wasn't that rare, the fact that it's 100 years old.
A cutting board.
Shut your face. No, I'd want to make something that actually like honors it a little bit.
Done perfect. Floop.
I would definitely not build something that like isn't gonna stand the test of time. I want to kind of like honor the wood. Like I got these beams that are hella old from the barn we're getting married at, and I want to make a hand tool workbench, but like one that I'm gonna take to my next shop, not that I'm gonna throw out in a year. So I want to honor that piece in some way that kind of justifies its age. So make a nice piece of furniture, make something to really showcase the age of it. Well, Mike, what do you think?
I mean, I'd want to turn it into like an heirloom for my family, like a piece of furniture that's going to be in my family for a long time. I don't know how I'd do something that would show its age, like make a cane out of it. I don't know what that means, but
like a musket.
But like, yeah, a musket, a front-loaded musket. No, I mean, I would try to make like a nice piece of furniture for the house, like a console table or an end table or something like that with it, if there was enough. But that's from what I don't know a whole lot about chestnut, and I've never worked with it. I do know, like what Pete said, we were talking earlier, that it's endangered, and the reason is because the sapwood is really susceptible to beetles. It's not very durable, and I believe it's actually a kind of softer wood in terms of hardwoods, and doesn't tool amazingly well. And the only reason it's highly sought after is because, not the only reason, but one of the main reasons it's highly sought after is because it's so rare and hard to find. It's not a particularly great wood to work with, from what I understand. But it's also, it's hard to find. So you're not going to see a lot of like chestnut dressers. Dan?
Well, piggybacking, thank you for the finger guns.
Yeah.
Piggybacking off what Mike said, I would try to sell it. I mean, if it's so hard to find and so sought after, I'm sorry. Like if there's a lot of sentimental value and a lot of family history, maybe keep it and try to make something out of it. But the businessman in me says sell it, make some money, and move on to the next thing.
Sell it, buy some walnut.
There you go.
I mean, walnut, from what I understand, tools way better than chestnut. So, really, I mean, it depends on what your sentimentality is. Hey, you know what? It's pretty late in the show. We're halfway through our voicemails. Why don't we do the giveaway real quick?
Ooh, yes, we do that thing here.
Let's do that dang thing. Oh, yeah. Should we clarify? I said in the pre-show, I had 2 people message me this week. They weren't aware that we're doing a weekly giveaway. We are doing a weekly giveaway. We're 11 weeks in. Macbeth
11 giveaways in.
Right. Keep interrupting me. It's great. Macbeth has been great enough to sponsor our giveaway every week for how many times, Pete?
LF1.
This is week 11.
11.
Did I get you mid-drink? Sorry, dude. I was trying to tee you up.
That's why I use the fingers to show it.
Macbeth has a giveaway every week. They sponsor the giveaway. You give us the code word, and then you win that thing. That's what we're trying to.
Pretty simple.
Just trying to do community engagement.
Not everyone. Don't.
Right.
Not everyone
one person wins.
One person.
One person wins. That's
not everyone gets one. That's a very non-sustainable structure if we gave it to everyone. Pete.
Well, number one thing
Let's
is
go to you for the first time.
Yeah, sex sells. Sex sells, man.
What? That's your answer?
Yeah. Well, if that doesn't work for you, depending on your forte, build hype around your products. Show off the process. Show off the stuff you're making. That's the best way to do it, because the first clients you're gonna get is friends and family, and don't short sell yourself. But so if you're gonna post it to Facebook, post it there, your personal account, or if you have a woodworking account on Instagram, if you're posting an app, get some hype around it. People are gonna reach out. That's the best way to do it, especially if you show the process. Mike, what about you? You sell a lot of pieces as well.
Not as much as Dan.
Well, you sell a lot of.
I mean, I sell those
you
small
have consistent
stuff.
sales on
I
small
sell
trinkets.
a lot of the local small trinkety stuff. I mean,
they're called tchotchkes.
Not in my store. No, I mean, it's what Pete said is accurate. You're going to sell to friends and family first, and you're just going to really hope for word of mouth. And it's not easy, and there's no single equation, because every area is different, and there's a lot of factors like how much money is there in the community, how's affluence in the community. There's a lot of things that really affect those things. So we talk about this a lot, but when you're like trying to get into these if you're getting into sales, that means you're building a business. And if you're building a business, you're gonna have to start wearing a bunch of different hats. And one of those things is marketing and sales and customer service, and you're just gonna have to start developing your own style from that. There's people that attack it different ways. For me, I try to keep all my content clean and kind of family friendly, and I do all these different things around me that kind of keep me as consumable as possible. There's some guys that are successful that are less clean. They're, they'll talk however they want in their content. And if you're not making content, if you're not making content and you're sharing your stuff on social media very passively, like, hey, this is what I made, and you're throwing it up on Facebook, the things you can do is make your shots look really pretty, make them really look nice, really, and it's part of the sex sells thing Pete says, unfortunately.
Yes, it stinks.
You really
don't give him validation.
I know, it's the worst. I feel bad right now. You really want to present those things as nicely as possible, and also it leads into what Pete said about hyping it. And not like a fake sense of hype, but like a real, like, hey, this is a product, show your excitement about this thing you're doing. I think when people see that you're excited, when you're excited about something, that really shines through in whatever presentation you have. If you have something that you're like, man, I made this piece and I just love it, and I kind of feel like you're going to love it too, you should check it out. That really, really is important in a lot of these things. So you're not going to make, I actually don't keep much inventory. That's going to be changing because I'm going to be going to a different model with the CNC. I'm actually going to be keeping lots of inventory because I'm going to be batching stuff out. But currently, I do batch out one item that I sell, but everything else is made to order. So, it keeps your overhead low. I don't have the huge rack that Pete has where I can just store piles and piles of cutting boards on it.
It's all wedding gifts.
Oh yeah, right. However you justify it, you have a problem. But
you pivot your business. You pivot from holiday sales to now it's wedding gifts.
Whatever season it is to make your addiction fit, whatever you need it to be. No,
duck hunting season.
Right. Yeah. So it's there's different approaches, and you just kind of need to figure yours out. It's just there's no real like solid answer, but you need to just get stuff out there. Start making stuff for people. It's kind of the same dialogue we have all the time, right? You're going to have to go in pretty cheap at first, and then you're going to slowly raise your price up, and then you're going to get the word out there more through sales, and you're going to get people who are happy with your products, and then they're going to tell people, and then they're going to come to you, and it's just this long game you have to do. Sorry, I sound stuffed up. I'm pretty sick still. But it's going to take a while. It just takes a while before you have some sort of presence, and before people even know that you do that. I mean, I've had friends that they're like, "You're doing woodworking? That's sweet." I'm like, "Yeah, a few years now."
Like no crap.
Yeah, it's like
I have those too. It's like,
it's like, what the heck? So, but that's not their fault or your fault. That's just kind of how things go. Yeah. I mean, people don't know unless you tell them. Dan.
Also, it all depends on how you get served.
I meant Pete. Sorry.
Dan, can you tell us how you keep stock of 40-foot walnut tables?
I have a giant warehouse of no.
I work out of my garage, but I have this giant warehouse full of walnut desks.
It's a 50,000 square foot warehouse where I keep walnut desks on stock. No.
Racks of walnut desks.
I'm not going to add anything to what these two just said. They nailed it on the head. I'm just going to say ditto and agree with everything they said. You have to be your own hype man, and it takes time, and you just got to be excited. And like Mike said, you got to wear all these hats, and you have to like build a repertoire, and you have to sell yourself. You don't have to just sell the product. You also have to sell yourself as a person. Right. People don't want to do business with somebody who's a D-bag. They want to do business with somebody who they're going to like to be around and talk to and engage with.
Excited about the project.
Yep. Yes.
Yep.
So 100%. Agree with everything they said, and let's go. Move on.
Go. This next question is from Will. It's about woodworking.
What is up, fellas? Will King here with Fabled Labs. I'm looking to take the next step on what I'd call Flea to fine. I've been working with a lot of that beautiful bird's eye pine, but I think it's time for me to start getting into the hardwood game. I've been looking around town, looking for a good hardwood dealer, and there are none. It's all construction. Nobody does furniture-grade hardwoods. I found a couple things on Craigslist, but I'd rather find something reliable. So my question to you guys is, what is a good online hardwood dealer? What is somewhere I can trust? What experiences have you had, if any? If not, I totally understand. But yeah, that's my question.
I'm going to take this one because I have no experience, and it'll go really fast. I don't.
Okay, Pete. You did that last week.
I've never ordered wood online, so I don't have any experience with it, so I can't really speak to it.
Are you even a woodworker?
Right. I do know of Black Forest Sawmill, and I've heard good things about them. That's the only input I have, but I've never personally used them, so I'm going to pass it on to Dan.
I've never ordered. Oh my God, with the finger guns. I've never ordered wood online either. I find it hard to believe that you can't find any sort of lumber yard if you live anywhere near some sort of metropolitan area. There has to be something out there. You just gotta use the right keywords. Even here in BFE, Nebraska, I can find 5 or 6 lumber yards where I can go and get good quality wood. And I'm not just talking about somewhere here in metropolitan Omaha. There's places within a 2 or 3 hour drive from here. Sometimes you have to make the drive. But I've never ordered online, so I really have nothing to add. I'm so sorry, Pete.
Okay, so as far as ordering wood online, there's plenty of places where you can't really readily get wood easily in the area you're in. So Rockler and I believe Woodcraft, but definitely Rockler, I'm not sure about Woodcraft, sell wood online. Our friends over at Bear Hollow Supply, Mike, maybe you can speak to that. I think they sell some stuff online, right? But it's limited stock.
Yeah, he's got 4-quarter red oak, walnut, and maple in stock that he'll ship to you.
Which is not a bad choice. It's something.
No,
if you're looking for
that
might be a good option. I have personally used Black Forest Sawmill. This is not a pitch for them. I absolutely love the guys that run it. I believe it's a family-run business. I haven't personally seen their operation, but I've just seen a lot of the behind the scenes from working with them over the years. They heavily use USPS flat rate boxes. Basically, they will, if you do a lot of wood turning, they will fill a box with wood turning blanks for fairly cheap. Like I've gotten that like $20 box for like $30, all of it filled with walnut offcuts for turning on a lathe. So I think that's a pretty good deal. Unfortunately, I can't believe I'm admitting this, but Amazon sells wood.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, that is a thing. I researched that in the pre-show. I forgot to tell you guys. You can actually buy wood on Amazon. Here's my recommendations. Don't do it because none of us have actually tried it. There's good reviews there, but I don't trust it. Black Forest Sawmill, you can actually talk to somebody that is running the sawmill. Like it's the people that are actually there. I've also used, if you're looking for some more exotic or like burls, for example, one brand that I used there on Instagram, it's Worldwide Burl. They have a pretty good selection. I got that crazy cookie with the hole in the middle from there. So I got some really nice burl pieces. I want to speak positively. The wood was really nice quality. The purchasing experience was a little rough, mainly because they're just simply not set up for it. It's basically done over Instagram DM. So that's one option. Again, good quality wood. I don't know how their sale experience is right now, but there's a couple different options. Check out Black Forest, do some Googling. I'm going to reference this again because I do it almost like every other show. Shannon Rogers did an episode on ordering wood online on his podcast too. Free pitch for him. So lumber industry update. He talks about it as well.
Thank us for that.
No, he won't, but that's fine. But I want to give him a free pitch because he's actually a good resource on it. He's talked about it. He's done a whole episode on mail order wood. Not brides.
I was thinking brides.
I know,
he does, right?
For you guys to say it. So that's end of my whole mail order wood rant.
I don't know if it was a rant, but okay.
No, yeah. I think it was.
I've ordered wood online. I have done it because
I've ordered wood.
I've done it.
You have not.
Because I was
found
curious,
dates online.
Depending on what you're getting, like I was making charcuterie boards and they were sending me walnut and cedar cheaper than what I could get at the lumberyard here. So yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Cedar for charcuterie boards?
Charcuterie boards. If you're just doing serving trays for charcuterie, it's perfect. For cutting boards, hell no. And as you know, I'm an expert.
In my opinion. That was some weird
What
silence.
was that face?
Yeah.
I got my mustache is like living in my mouth. I need to go to the barber so bad.
Yeah, quick update to everyone that's listening. Mike needs to see the barber.
I need to see the barber.
Bad. Yeah.
Mikey got big beard.
He keeps combing it and it's not getting better.
It's not. It's just gets worse. Hey, we're deep into this episode. Should we?
One written question. You're right.
Okay. Go for it, Pete. You ask it. No, you read it. No, you read it and answer it, and me and Dan will just shake our head like, no.
I like
seriously, pick a question.
I like it. Do it.
Well, I'm gonna ask this one because it's the most recent one, and I'm actually curious to hear what you guys say. It's from Mark Adams. I'm not gonna go through the whole question, but he's built a large wood table outdoors about 3 years ago. He wants to seal it, and he's in Colorado. So it's very dry heat. Mike, you're kind of in a similar-ish area, but I kind of want to make this a broader question and basically ask, how do you guys handle outdoor finishes? Because the only experience I've had was some minimal stuff. I've tried to use cedar, and I basically just used like deck finish because I was too lazy to research it. So I'm going to shoot it over to Mike.
I mean, I don't have a lot of experience with it, but I've used in the past for like cornhole boards and a couple of pieces I made for outside spar urethane. Also, you want something that has a UV inhibitor in it. And I know that polyacrylic has that in it as well. I know our sponsor has Halcyon, which is a great product. I wish I knew more about Gleam. I believe Gleam is an exterior product, but I could be wrong. Pete, look that up while I'm talking, please.
Yep. How come you didn't ask me?
You going to look it up?
No, I'm not.
On your internet corn? No, I mean, basically you want something with what happens with a finish is sun is the hardest thing on it. That's the thing that's going to tear it apart the most, is the sun. It's the UV rays. They degrade the finish. They discolor it, but worse than the discoloration is it actually breaks down the finish. And What's up?
Oh, sorry. I don't mean to cut you off. I just want to speak next. But so here's one thing and this is not an ad for our sponsor, but
I mean, they're our sponsor. Let's give them a spot.
Yeah, Total Boat. Yeah, like not like pitching it because they're a sponsor, but Total Boat. They're coming from the boat world, and
are boats in the sun a lot?
Yes.
Okay.
Fun fact. And here's another fun fact. Emma, my fiance / daughter, Yep.
Oh, don't word it like that.
I know, you
love
guys
that he's
said
just
it.
embracing this
So-
now.
It's good as a joke, but when you tie it together so tightly, it's
so
really
dark. So dark. But her dad actually is a boat broker. He sells sailboats. That's hard to say. So
He sells sailboats down by the seashore.
Exactly. And they use a lot of like Jamestown Distributors products, Total Boat. Actually, I told him like, oh, I work with Total Boat. He's like, I don't know what that is. I said Jamestown Distributors. He's like, oh yeah, I know those guys. Like, yeah, same company, different brand. But they know this stuff about sun exposure, water damage, all that stuff. The stuff that they make, like these epoxy products, do a really good job. And as far urethane, the varnishes, it's a good choice to go with for outdoors because this is meant to be in the worst environments. That's all I really got. But
Did you look up Gleam?
I was trying to, and it looks like it's a
What does that
spar
mean? I was
varnish.
trying to.
It's a
One
spar
word.
varnish.
How hard could it be to Google that?
It's a marine spar varnish by Total Boat. Gleam. Boom.
It's a spar varnish.
It's a spar varnish.
Okay, so
spar
then it's got the UV inhibitor. Okay.
Yeah. So yep.
So anyway, yeah, that would be a good product. I know that they just came out with the Gleam Satin. I don't think it's not glossy anymore. But anyway, those are. I actually do want to try the
satin.
Yeah, I do want to try the Gleam Satin.
Gleam 2.0 now.
Yeah. Please, keep not letting me say what I'm going to say. It's really.
You're done talking.
I'm done. I'm flipping it over. No. No. But yeah, anything with a spar. Dan, take it over. Seriously.
I've always used spar urethane, but I'm looking. I was actually looking up Gleam as well while we were talking, and I'm really thinking about switching to Gleam.
Well,
I'm not just saying that. I'm not just saying that because they're our sponsor, but this looks like a good product.
I am telling you that I'm saying it because they're our sponsor. I like Total Boat a lot. They're a good company, and there are products I've used in the past, but if their product works, I'm going to use it because I like them. Like, I don't work with the other brands, so I don't mind saying it. I work with those guys, so I want to try. I've been wanting to try that Gleam Satin for a while. I actually have an inquiry in my inbox for a bench. A local company wants to make one of their employees that's retiring, and they want it out of redwood, and I think Gleam would be amazing on it. So, getting tired of working with redwood, I'll tell you that right now. But it's but it's a good product for outdoors. It's rot resistant naturally, and if you have a product over it that's going to keep it protected and will last in the sun, you're going to have something that looks great.
You can't go wrong with marine finishes.
Nope.
But here's the thing. Here's something I wanted to say. It doesn't matter what product you use. Over time, Mother Nature always wins.
Oh, yeah.
Always. There's nothing out there that can protect a piece outside indefinitely. Mother Nature always wins.
Even inside. You look at pieces of furniture that are 70, 80 years old. They've been inside the whole time. That's just from people, putting their butts on chairs or whatever for 7 years. The things are going to get worn out. It just happens.
Butts always win.
Butts always win. Cowboys' butts drive me nuts.
Okay, then.
No, it's
show title.
No, it's exactly what Dan said. You're always gonna have to go back and refurbish, refinish, do something. Nothing's gonna ever go on there, and it's gonna last forever.
And speaking of Colorado, again, not to pitch their podcast again, but Mark Spagnola literally did a thing about refinishing an outdoor table, and he lives in Colorado now, and he talks about all this. So you can check out his video. He's got a lot of good info in there. But he had to refinish it. You got to do it.
Pete, you do the show notes. You should put a link to that video in the show notes.
Oh, I'm going to link to it. Oh, trust me.
Don't you worry, Big D.
Don't you worry about it. Medium D.
This is so dumb. This show is really, really turned to trash.
All right, so we're at 2 hours.
You guys want to wrap this thing up?
Yeah, after that, yep.
Yeah, please. Anything but this. Huge thanks to our sponsor. I know we just talked about them, but that was unintentional and organic. So we just really appreciate Total Boat. Thank you to them for being a sponsor. Thank you to our patrons for all their support. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who shares the show. That's really a great way to get the show out there. Getting new listeners is a big deal, really important to us. The show's growing, and we're so glad to be a part of this thing. It's so cool, man. We really want to have it be like a community thing. We'd like to have interaction with everyone who listens. It's just so cool. So don't forget to give us those 5-star ratings. Also, we're we didn't get a whole lot of questions this week.
Yeah.
And it was
What's up,
kind of
guys?
nice.
That's
But that's, yeah, we didn't really do any calls for it. But this week, we need some questions. We want to have another all question episode. Smorgasbord. What's up? Pete's got something to say. I can see it.
Oh, do I? I was licking my lips. That's why.
Oh, God. I said
No, but
smorgasbord.
well,
Your lips.
since I'm speaking now, we want to hear what you guys think of like less questions and us kind of talking about it. I mean, it just kind of happened because we didn't get as many questions, but we kind of laid more deeply into what we do in a shop. So
It's nice. I liked it.
That's
Me,
all
but
we
I'm not. It doesn't matter what I like. It matters what people who are listening likes.
Yeah.
So.
well,
I don't
not you guys. I don't care about you.
Right,
I
I
want to
know.
hear from the people.
I know you don't care about me.
What else we got?
Well, make sure to leave us a voicemail if you don't want to record it. Record your velvety voice on your iPhone or Android phone if you use an Android. If you want to call up, use 754-2255-297 or call AWP. Make sure to check out the podcast on Instagram and YouTube. Best way to find it is to search it because we still don't have a custom domain for it. And also, of course, check all of us out on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, if you're into that, and TikTok, because we're huge on TikTok. Well, they are. I'm working on it.
No.
I'm huge on TikTok. I have a 1.4 million view video.
Wow.
You really do. It's kind of crazy. What did you just drop? You just dropped whatever you had in your hand.
Well, it was supposed to be a mic, but it was a pen, really.
Pen drop.
All right, let's call this thing. You know what?
All right.
Wrap it up. I love you. You're the best.
No,
You
we
smell
love
great.
you.
You look great.
Are you talking to me or Pete?
I don't know.
Talking to the podcast listeners.
The antibiotics are really doing a number
You
on me. I
guys
don't know
and
what's
gals
happening right now.
smell great over this podcast.
Okay, love you long time. Bye.
Love you, bye.
Love you long time.